Breaking overnight, flames ripped through at least a dozen cars in the Metro East. News 4 pushing for answers, asking what sparked the raging fire.
More students heading back to the classroom today.
Mom, I'm a little nervous to go back to school.
Your Back to School Authority is looking at how one of the area's largest school districts is keeping your children safe.
Coronavirus records continue to fall.
We're now headed into a new wave of coronavirus all over the country.
News 4 breaks down the latest numbers on both sides of the river.
In other news this morning, an urgent care clinic worker was rushed to the hospital after being hit by a car that crashed into this building here. Look at the damage here. We brought this to you as breaking news last night at 10. This happened in Baldwin around 8 last night at the Total Access Urgent Care Facility on Clarkson Road. Police say the driver of the car lost control, hit the person, and then crashed into the building. The driver was taken into custody. We are told that driver is cooperating with police. Right now, News 4 is working to learn the condition of the person who was hit. And happening today, a third medical marijuana dispensary is scheduled to open in Missouri. Sales of medical marijuana just began Saturday morning. The first 2 dispensaries in the state opened this weekend. Turning to the pandemic now, breaking within the last 15 minutes, the number of global coronavirus cases has now passed 40 million. That according to Johns Hopkins University. In Missouri and Illinois, there continues to be a surge in new cases. Missouri reported more than 1,700 new COVID cases yesterday and 2 additional deaths. The state's positivity rate has jumped to 19.7%. That's another record high. Illinois also saw a big increase in cases with more than 4,200 added yesterday. The positivity rate in Illinois is currently 5.3%. Governor J.B. Pritzker says he's worried too many people are letting their guard down.
The truth of the matter,
because of the pandemic, students in the St. Louis Public School District have been learning virtually since the beginning of the year. But that may change. Starting today, students pre-K through 2nd grade can return to in-person learning. News 4's Emma Hogue talked with parents and learning what the district is doing to keep kids safe.
The Dodgers come from behind in the series. They come from behind in Game 7, and they win the National League pennant.
The Los Angeles Dodgers are going to the World Series, beating the Atlanta Braves late last night in a Game 7 thriller, 4-3. The Dodgers were down 3-1 in the series. They will play Tampa Bay. Game 1 of the World Series is tomorrow night. Hey, Matt.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, I thought you were just going to take it away. I'm sorry.
It's 4:30 on a Monday morning. What do you want, people?
Welcome back. With the presidential election weeks away and the nation still in grips over the pandemic, investors are closely watching the stock market. News 4's Caroline Hecker spoke with a local financial expert about the decision investors should be ready to make.
Good morning. Happy Monday to all of you. Thank you for being with us. I'm Claire Kellett.
And I'm Justin Andrews in for Reese Drummond this morning. It is a wet Monday morning, Matt. Goodness, we need our umbrellas this morning.
Yeah, no kidding, guys. That's a trend that's going to continue for the better.
Today, students in the largest school district in the area are going back inside the classroom.
And your school authority keeping a very close eye on how St. Louis Public Schools is keeping students and teachers safe.
News 4's Caroline Hecker is live right now. Caroline, students start arriving in just a few hours. All right, Caroline, thank you so much. SLPS is not the only district welcoming back students today. The Alton School District begins a hybrid program starting this morning. Students will attend in-person classes 2 days a week and learn online 3 days a week. And if you're interested in the geospatial field, there's a big virtual job fair going on today. St. Louis University and the United States Geospatial Intelligence Foundation are teaming up to put on the fair. It includes employers from all over the country, and it starts at 10 this morning and runs until 4. You do have to sign up. We will post that information on the KMOV News app. Just yucky this
lousy.
Yes.
That's the official meteorological title for a day like today, lousy. Unless you can just cuddle up with a cup of coffee and a book.
Then we may just recognize them on the air.
Yeah, getting goosebumps.
Yeah,
Love
just
the connections
amazing.
they are
Love
making.
teachers.
Absolutely. All right, well, couples coming up with, shall we say, very unique solutions when it comes to these COVID-era weddings.
How one couple solved their problems of having families living in different countries. And also ahead, the first U.S. airline sets a date to put the Boeing 737 MAX back in service. Passengers will once again board the grounded jet.
Then
Won't get another stimulus check before the November election. Experts say there's not enough time left to pass a bill and distribute the money. Right here on News 4 this morning, the latest after a fire ripped through at least a dozen cars in the Metro East.
And only on News 4, we were able to show you those flames this morning. And then we
also breaking overnight, a crash is now turned deadly in West St. Louis County. The brand new information we're learning from the scene where the SUV plowed into an urgent care. Also this morning, the state of Missouri reported record numbers of coronavirus cases over the weekend, and the rate of positive cases remains high across the state.
Governor Mike Parson says he will not issue a mask mandate despite those growing numbers. News 4's Caroline Hecker live for us this morning. Caroline, with a closer look at where these cases are exactly concentrated.
Thanks, Caroline. A mass gathering in Kansas City over the weekend is raising concerns about it being a super spreader event. Hundreds of people came out this weekend to the Let Us Worship event. Some people even driving from out of state. You see that large crowd there. The religious activist who put on the event has been traveling all over the country holding similar rallies with the lack of masks and the lack of social distancing. The group said they recommend people to wear masks and social distance. They also had masks and hand sanitizer available for the people there. It's unclear if Kansas City leaders approved this large gathering. All right, Matt, we've got a traffic alert right now. Crash along Interstate 55 in South City. Mark Griffin is live right there on the scene. Mark, bring us up to date. And I'm Justin Andrews. Maurice Drummond is off this morning. It was wet all night. Yeah. Matt, I hear the rain might be moving out.
Yeah, I think some good timing here in terms of the bus.
Also breaking overnight, we're taking a live look right now at the damage left behind at that Total Access Urgent Care in Baldwin. You see the damage right there at the bottom of your screen here. This after an SUV crashed into the building last night. We're learning brand new information this morning about the person who was injured in there within the last few hours. Here's what we know about the crash. This is what it looked like yesterday when it happened. Overnight, we learned that a 25-year-old woman died after that SUV crashed into the front lobby here of this Total Access Urgent Care on Clarkson and Kerrs Mill Road. Highway Patrol says the 20-year-old driver lost control. Happening today, students in the largest school district in the area are going back inside the classroom.
And as your school authority here at News 4, we are keeping a close eye on how St. Louis Public Schools is keeping students and their staff members safe.
News 4's Caroline Hecker joins us now live right now. Caroline, students are arriving there in just a few hours.
Caroline Hecker, News 4.
And Caroline, St. Louis Public Schools is not the only district welcoming students back today. The Alton School District began its hybrid program starting this morning. Students will attend in-person classes 2 days a week and learn online 3 days a week. Families still have the option of keeping their kids fully remote. Parkway students returning to in-person learning in the week ahead. On Thursday, elementary students will go back into the buildings. That's kindergarten through 5th grade. And parents in the Rockwood School District have until Wednesday to decide if their middle school students will return to the classroom in November. The decision for high schoolers must be made by next Wednesday.
Well, couples certainly coming up with very unique solutions when it comes to the COVID-era weddings.
Oh, yeah. How one couple solved their problems by having families living in 2 different countries. Also ahead, the first U.S. airline sets a date to put the Boeing 737 MAX back in service when passengers will once again board the grounded jet. Time now 6:15. You won't get another stimulus check before the November election. Experts say there's not enough time left to pass a bill and distribute the money. Yesterday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi set a 48-hour deadline to work out differences. Both sides are willing to spend around $2 trillion, but there are disputes about how to use that money. Meanwhile, Senate Republicans are expected to vote on a $500 billion bill on Wednesday that lacks Democratic support.
However, a little early in the morning to be even thinking about grabbing some buds.
I don't know.
Justin,
but there's
too early.
On News 4, the latest after fire rips through at least a dozen cars in the Metro East.
Only News 4 is able to show you those flames this morning. And then we all
breaking overnight, a row of cars going up in flames at an auction lot in the Metro East. News 4 was the first on scene at the insurance auto auction in Caseyville near Interstate 64 and Route 157. Look at those flames there. At least a dozen cars were on fire when crews arrived. It took firefighters a while to get the cars contained because of a locked gate. Investigators are now searching for the cause. Also this morning, the state of Missouri reported record numbers of coronavirus cases over the weekend and the rate of positive cases remains high across the state.
Governor Mike Parson says he will not issue a mask mandate despite those growing numbers. News 4's Caroline Hecker joins us live this morning. Caroline, with a closer look at where those cases are concentrated. Happening this week, Budweiser releasing a new limited edition can.
And you can only find it in St. Louis.
That's
the Nelly lyric there. To celebrate 20 years since Nelly's album, Country Grammar, Budweiser is releasing these 25-ounce tall boys. You see the cans here feature notable elements of Nelly's music career and celebrate ties to his hometown, obviously here in St. Louis, including a Cardinals logo. The cans will only be available at stores in the St. Louis area starting tomorrow. Is it too early, Claire?
Yes, way too early. You got to wait until at least the afternoon, my friend.
Okay, we'll be right back. Stick with News 4 this morning. And in the Metro East, more than a dozen cars are destroyed after going up in flames. Look at the raging flames here. This fire breaking out around 1:30 this morning at the Insurance Auto Auction in Caseyville. This is near I-64 and Illinois 157. There is no word on what started this fire.